Welcome back. It is Saturday, July 15th, and the MLB our five favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Not the way we wanted to start the All-Star or the post-All-Star break, an 0-3 day. Logan had Cubs money line. They never stood a chance. Hate when you see Kyle Schwarber get his over 1.5 bases. He even got on base 3 times. They just could never get him a run, so he ends on the hook there. And then the Giants-Pirates under 9 was comical. I mean, they didn't score for the first 4 innings, ended up with 10 runs on the dot. Didn't even get us a push. I swear, if you ever see me take an under in the first few innings or scoreless, just hammer the over with everything you got. At the worst, you're going to get a winner there, and you might even get a winner on the regular. I can't do it anymore. Logan and I need some good luck on our side. We got 5 picks today. We've changed up a little bit the drawing board, made some adjustments, really like the card we've cooked up today. And we're going to dive into the favorite picks. Before we dive into that, we do have an offer on WynnBet if you want to check it out. I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but if you can get $100 in bet credits when you wager $20, all the details are down below. But either way, we got 5 picks today. If you want to check out WynnBet, it's available in a ton of different U.S. states. All details in the description. But Logan, we got 5 picks today. The Octopus shirt is back, but we'll save that for the end. Logan, what's your first one going to be? And I heard you're going to be in attendance for this game too.
I will be in attendance this game, and we need to bounce back in a big way today. And we've got a very diverse card. Austin and I spent a lot of time on the plays today, and I really do like him. We're starting with a player prop. We're going to game 1 of the doubleheader between the Phillies and Padres, and I'm taking Alec Bohm of the Phillies over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, minus 105 odds on DraftKings, currently your best value. As Austin did mention, I will be at this game. So I will get the emotion of sweating this one out in person and hopefully seeing Alec Bohm come through for us, right? And I do have some good track record of cashing bets in person. So that's on our side today. Now, if you don't have this one, you're like, Logan, I don't have DraftKings. I would take a Bohm and Trey Turner hit parlay. Minus 101 odds is currently what I'm seeing that. Now, if you're like, Logan, Trey Turner yesterday burned us real good. I know, he went 0 for 5. He sucked in every possible every way imaginable. I think law of averages says Trey Turner gets a hit today. It's just kind of like he's a good enough hitter to hopefully be able to do that. Now, let's talk about Alec Bohm because he's our guy in this one. I like him to go over his HRR prop. Yesterday, Alec Bohm had 2 hits, a run, and an RBI, easily soaring over this line. Today, he faces the lefty Blake Snell, right? I've tried fading Blake Snell all sorts of different ways. I'm not really going to fade him personally, except for I think Alec Bohm has a good matchup against him. First of all, Bohm hitting .310 versus lefties this year. We like to see that against Blake Snell's primary pitch, which is the fastball. Bohm's hitting .291. Bohm also hitting .294 against off-speed pitches with an expected batting average of .384. Look, Alec Bohm's a really, really good hitter. He doesn't get the attention as much as like the Bryce Harper and Trey Turners, but he's a sneaky good hitter, and I think the Phillies will get some production out of him. We should see against Blake Snell in his career, Bohm 3 for 10. Batting 300 with two of those being doubles against Blake Snell. Extra base hits are great for a hits, runs, and RBI prop because they get to be in scoring position, right? And when you're in scoring position, hopefully your teammates can be able to bat you around and get in a run. Unlike Kyle Schwarber last night, who was waving at second base, please someone hit me in. No, his teammates did not hit him in. I'm not sure 100% where Alec Bohm will be in the lineup today, but he will most likely be batting behind the best hitters in the Phillies lineup, the Trey Turners, the Bryce Harpers, and that should give him RBI opportunities as well. Look, if we look at the full game total for this one, it opened at 10, and I was talking to Austin last night, I was like, wow, that's pretty high. Of course, it got bet down to 9, but the conditions are prime for offense in this one. There's a lot of pathways to victory in a hits, runs, RBI prop, which is, again, why I think there's an edge on the sportsbooks to take bets like this. So we're riding with Alec Bohm as our first player prop of the day. Austin, what you got for us?
I got another player prop, and I really like this one. This is a market I really haven't touched a whole lot this year, but I think it's a pretty good one. Hopefully, Alec Bohm comes through for you. That's an early start, so make sure you get that one locked in. Now, this is not an early start. This one's one of the later starts on the slate. You have plenty of time. It's George Kirby of the Mariners to go under 2.5 earned runs allowed, which is currently minus 145 on DraftKings. Pretty juiced, which is why I'm laying 1.5 units on it. So 1.5 units will win us back a little over 1 unit, which I'm fine there. Now, if this does go up, I'd play it to probably around minus 160. I don't really like handing out juice props like this, but I really like this one, hence why I got 1.5 units on it. My favorite pivot would be the Mariners minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings. That was a little bit juiced around the minus 135, minus 140 lane. I just don't necessarily trust the Mariners bats to really show up for George Kirby today. He's not like Shohei Ohtani. He can swing both ways, help himself out. Now Kirby's going to need some support from the Mariners. Just an offense. Sometimes I just don't trust. Michael Lorenzen will start for the Tigers. I think he gives up a couple hits. If I were to target some hitters for the Mariners, looked at the right-handed bats, something Lorenzen has struggled versus this season. I like Julio Rodriguez tonight. His props are just a little too juiced for me. But you look at Kirby. He's going to enter here with a 3.09 ERA and a 1.04 WHIP, and he's given up 2 or less earned runs in 11 of 17 starts here. So he's been pretty solid this year in terms of hitting this prop, in terms of the cash rate. But two main reasons I'm here is, one, I don't trust the Tigers offense, and two, Kirby's been pretty good at home, and that's kind of why I'm tracking him here. Now, on the season, you look at the Tigers, 27th in batting average, 28th in OPS versus righties. That is what Kirby, he's a right-handed pitcher. Now, yesterday, they got up against Luis Castillo. They ended up scoring 3 earned runs against him, 2 of those coming in the first inning via home run. But can they do it again? I mean, the books are setting the Tigers team total full game at 2.5. It's a little juiced on the over, but they clearly don't expect a big outing from the Tigers. And it's the guy in Kirby who's going to throw strikes and make the Tigers hit him. He's not going to walk a whole lot of guys. He's a guy 100th percentile and walk percentage. This guy in Kirby, he will make the Tigers put the ball in play and beat him. And I just don't know if I can trust the Tigers, especially given how good Kirby has been at home. Now, you look at his ERA at home, only a 3.10, but that's about his regular average, but the whip's way down with a 0.91 whip at home, allowing just a 220 batting average at home compared to 270 on the road, also averaging 9.1 Ks per 9 innings. Hence why you see his strikeout prop sitting at 6.5, a number he really hasn't sniffed in a lot of his starts. So I really think he's going to come in here dialed in. Kirby allowed under 2.5 earned runs in 6 of his 8 home starts, and he's really been 6 of his last 7. His first home start was his first start of the year, and he got rocked in that one, giving up 4 earned runs. I think he's going to be dialed in here. The books are pretty confident he goes 7 or more, or 6 or more innings. Sometimes he goes 7, but his outs prop is in at like -180, probably even more juice by the time game starts. So when you see Kirby throw 6 or more innings at home, he's a perfect 6 for 6 at this prop. And in general, he's an 11 for 14 hitting this hit rate. So if he goes 6 innings, probably a good chance he's at least dialed in, giving up less than 3 earned runs. So I really like this one. 1.5 units on the under 2.5 earned runs. It probably gets more juiced as the day goes on, but I really like George Kirby to have a pretty good showing tonight. You can give up 2 earned runs, hopefully less, but I really think George Kirby's in for a good outing tonight. So I'll put 1.5 units on his under 2.5 earned runs, available on a couple different books. I gave some pivots. Logan, what's your second play of the day going to be?
Yeah, we're going to a money line in this one. We're this one's probably gonna be a little controversial. I'm taking the Mets on the money line, -105 odds on BetMGM. Yes, I know the Mets were just shut out 6-0 yesterday. They'll get back on track against Gonsolin and the Dodgers today, especially in this pick'em spot. I really do think there's value on the Mets at home. You got Kodai Senga pitching for them today. He's probably the one guy I can back in this rotation. 3.31 ERA and a 1.28 WHIP. For Senga. At home, Senga has just been lights out. 2.64 ERA at home. And StatCast really does like his numbers. They don't think it's fluky. 80th percentile expected batting average, 79th percentile in expected slugging, and 85th percentile in K percentage. Kodai Senga is a really good pitcher because he is able to miss bats. Against a really good offense like the Dodgers, that is important. What his kryptonite is the walks. But the Dodgers aren't a team that draws a ton of walks. They're 19th in walks drawn. Sometimes the Dodgers can be a little bit aggressive at the plate, and I think Kodai Senga can use that aggression against them today. Yesterday, they drew 6 walks versus Verlander. Will they keep their pat on the shoulder a second day in a row? I don't think so. Verlander was just really missing his spots. Kodai Senga, this might be controversial. I would take Senga any day over the week over Verlander or even Scherzer this year. Those two pitchers are just overvalued. I think we're finding value on Kodai Senga today. Dodgers 20th in batting average and 4th in OPS on the road. And I don't trust the Dodgers to be able to score against Kodai Senga. I think he will shut them down. Got Tony Gonsolin starting for the Dodgers today, and he's also a reason I'm targeting this one. 3.86 ERA and a 1.12 WHIP. Now, you look at Gonsolin, his expected ERA 4.59. He has poor StatCast numbers. 37th percentile in expected batting average, 35th percentile in expected slugging, 23rd percentile in K percentage. Look, Gonsolin relies heavily on soft contact since he's not really a big strikeout pitcher. We saw yesterday, unfortunately, with my Cubs pick, what happens when a pitch-to-contact pitcher doesn't have it. Kyle Hendricks hosted batting practice, and it was really disgusting to watch. And I think Tony Gonsolin today could be in line for that. With a total at 9, I'd be surprised if major offensive contributions didn't come from the Mets, especially against Gonsolin. I know everyone's like, this Mets offense, just, I can't back them. Well, then you're going to have a tough time back in baseball because inconsistency happens. Mets 24th in batting average and 10th in OPS in July. The fact that they are getting on base is encouraging for me. The batting average could certainly, improve, but they have very talented hitters in there. And in Gonsolin, I couldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. This team is wildly, inconsistent offensively, but I will take a chance on them today, even in the pick'em. Over the last 10 games, the Mets are 4th in bullpen ERA at a 3.13, while the Dodgers are 14th in bullpen ERA at a 4.19. In a pick'em, when the bullpens matter even more, I will take the Mets bullpen any day of the week over the Dodgers bullpen. So I am going to go ahead and take the Mets money line. It might be controversial, but I don't really care. Austin, what do you got for us?
I'm going to a division rival of the Mets, but before I dive into that, I do want to talk about, your pick with the Mets. We've talked about before, Kodai Senga. When he gets more than 4 days of rest, normally pitches pretty well. Obviously, he's had more than 4 in this start. So I like the backing of Mets here. Not a lot of people are going to want to run back into that train if they were on Mets yesterday and got absolutely smoked. But today I'm going to, like I said, a division rival. It's going to be Atlanta Braves. And here's how I'm targeting them. I'm targeting Spencer Strider, the starting pitcher, projected starting pitcher, to record a win. Currently, you'd bet this as yes on DraftKings. It's -110. And if there are a couple pivots, I'd look at Strider, maybe a player performance double for him, maybe 9+ Ks and a win. Or maybe look at Braves -1.5 in the first 5 innings. Obviously, we're going to need in order to record a win, we're going to need Strider to at least throw 5 innings. Then we're going to need him to exit with a lead and never see the Braves relinquish that lead. So you're probably going to need them to cover that first 5-run line, or at least be up by 1 run after the 5th inning. But let's talk about Strider while we're backing him here today, because Strider, we're going to need 5 innings, and he's done that in 17 of 18 starts. Obviously, if he doesn't throw 5 or more innings, he's not going to get a win, and he probably doesn't pitch too well if he's not getting up to that 5 innings mark. And when he has recorded a win, he's done that in 11 of 18 starts. It's been pretty solid, recording a win in 5 straight. You look at his numbers at home: 3.93 ERA and a .99 WHIP. Now, the ERA is up at home, but a lot of that is due to giving up 8 earned runs in one of his first starts, a couple starts ago at home to the Mets, a team that obviously has seen him before. A team like the White Sox, who we will face today, not a team that really sees him, and not a team that's going to see him a whole lot, going forward. So they could come in here swinging lazy bats. It's basically what they did to Charlie Morton yesterday, not scoring at all against the Braves. And while I'm sure they maybe get a run or two up, maybe even a couple up against Strider, still think he's going to have his stuff. And at the end of the day, this is backing Strider, but also fading the White Sox starter, who's going to be Lance Lynn. Now, you look at Lynn, he's expected to start for the White Sox, enters with a 6.03 ERA and a 1.42 WHIP. Lynn, hasn't been too great on the road, especially his last 4 road starts: 5, 3, 4, and 5 earned runs. If he can give us 5 earned runs of support against the Braves offense, has been a juggernaut all year long. I feel pretty confident in Strider to be able to come out here and do his thing. And you look at Lynn's last start pre-All-Star break, he was dialed in. 7 innings pitched, I think only 1 hit allowed versus the Blue Jays. Against the Blue Jays we're talking about. It's a team that's very inconsistent. I'm willing to die on the Braves offense, whatever. I mean, this is a team that we know can go out there and make this an absolute no sweat. They scored 10 runs against us, Lance Lynn. We just Strider to throw 5 or more innings pitch. We know how juggernaut, this Braves offense, I don't even think the books know how to price them in because they've been so good, and hopefully they continue to play pretty well. Like I said, Lynn didn't allow a home run in his last start. He's yet to go back-to-back games not allowing a home run. He's given up 22 home runs and 103 innings pitched. This is a Braves offense we know. The batters 1 through 9, all of them can send it deep, and they got a lot of guys that are capable of taking the pitches that maybe Lance Lynn doesn't want to find the strike zone, taking some walks, getting on base. We know this Braves offense can turn it on at a moment's notice, and this is a Braves team that I think can absolutely get to Lynn, and maybe they only get a couple runs up on Lynn. His Strider pitches pretty well. We'll still have a chance there. You're looking at Lynn's other props. His outs prop sitting at 16.5, a number he's gone over in 4 straight. His strikeout prop sitting at 6.5 plus money on the over, a number he's going over in 4 straight. So they're not necessarily too confident in Lance Lynn to again be as good as he has been. Well, good as in quotation marks in the last 4 games. They don't think he goes too far in here. So assuming that we can get Strider to maybe pitch longer than Lance Lynn, have a little bit more, maybe they can't get to Lance Lynn, we'll have chances against that White Sox bullpen, or maybe we need, a cover run, or maybe we need them to at least pad the stats, because the worst thing that could happen is Strider exits with the lead and the Braves bullpen relinquishes that lead, which could happen, but this is a White Sox bullpen that has not been good all year long. It's a Braves bullpen last 30 games that the third best bullpen ERA. I'm confident that they can hold it down for Strider, assuming he exits with the win, assuming he or with the lead, and assuming he pitches at least 5 or more innings pitched. I think this is a pretty good one, probably a pretty square prop, but I think the value's there in Spencer Strider to record a win for a team that's minus 300 or so on the money line. I wouldn't bet them minus 300 on the money line, but I think this is a good pivot. Strider to record a win, minus 110 on DraftKings. But Logan, there's a reason the Octopus shirt is on. It's because the return of the first 5 same game parlays. I'm going to let you tackle the analysis in this one, but we both really like this one in the Astros game. What's it going to be?
Yeah, we're going to the Astros versus Angels for our same game parlay. We're taking the under 5.5 in the first 5 innings and Astros plus 1.5 on the first 5 run line. This comes out to be minus 120 odds on FanDuel. Now, if you're right off the bat, Logan, I don't have FanDuel. You could pivot to Astros first 5 money line or the under 4.5 in the first 5. I like either of those pivots, but you could also take a run of extra, safety for the Astros plus 2.5 at minus 150. But we're pretty confident in the Astros being able to lead after 5 innings in this one. Hence the pivot that I talked about. Now, who's starting for the Angels today? It's Reed Detmers, the lefty. 4.31 ERA and a 1.28 whip for Detmers. Detmers has a 3.35 ERA at home, which is, pretty solid. In his last game, though, against Houston, Detmers got touched up. 5 innings pitched, gave up 4 earned runs. I'm confident that the Astros will be able to score on Reed Detmers, but not blow past that 5.5 all first 5 total. They should get some hits and runs up on him for sure. This is a very capable Astros offense. I mean, look what they did last night, right? They should be able to hit Reed Detmers. Now, who's starting for the Astros today? The real reason why we're targeting this one is Framber Valdez. He's starting 2.51 ERA and a 1.05 whip for Valdez on the year. In his last matchup versus the Angels, Valdez went 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. Really solid. I would love a duplication of that. Even on the road, Valdez has been solid, 3.23 ERA. And you look at the Angels offense, 22nd in batting average at home, 9th in OPS. So this Angels offense, I don't mind fading them in any sort of manner. And I don't think they're really going to be all that competitive versus Framber Valdez today. With runs coming at a premium, this first 5 same game parlay should really cash. I mean, look at the first 5 total. It's like 4.5, even 4 on some books. So obviously, it's going to be a close game in this one. Can the Astros cover the all first 5 run line for us? I think so. I think both pitchers can be decent enough to just not host batting practice through 5 innings. Austin, think our picks today stand a really good chance of cashing. Bounce back in a big way today.
Yeah, we're bouncing back. I really love all 5 picks. Kind of switching up. Obviously the regular game picks haven't necessarily done too well for us, but I'm really confident these are kind of pivots that are similar to picking some games, but maybe they have a better chance of cashing. Either way, 5 picks. Hopefully we can bring out the Bruins tomorrow. That would be an electric bounce back, a 5-0 day. But favorite picks, obviously, go check it out. That is, let's have a good day, Logan. I'm feeling good. Enjoy the Phillies game. Hopefully Alec Boehm treats you nicely. If Boehm hits a home run, you better buy his jersey at the stadium. But either way, we have 5 picks. Hopefully we have a great day. We'll see you guys back on Sunday for some more of them. We'll see you guys then. Peace.